Action.
Wet, how, wet, hungry, wet, how, wet, hungry, wet, hungry, wet, 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 how, wet, hungry, wet, wet. I used to be fragile, not anymore. I used to be lonely, not anymore. When you reach the bottom, when you don't want to breathe, it's a death in itself, and I've been reborn. I used to be crying for hours on end. I used to sleep more than I was awake. I felt weird being human, felt weird in my skin, felt odd going outside, felt bad staying in. I used to be bad at asking for help. I used to never say how I felt, like I was a robot, like I was a drone. No wonder I wanted to turn myself off. I used to be scared, I was so afraid of failing, succeeding, taking up any space. But being transparent in the literal sense is not for me anymore. I'd rather exist. I'd rather exist. I'd rather exist. I'd rather breathe. I'd rather be messy, wet, hungry, I'd rather exist. I'd rather exist. I'd rather breathe. I'd rather be messy, wet, hungry, wet, hungry, wet, how, wet, hungry, wet, how, wet, hungry, wet, hungry, wet, hungry, wet, hungry, wet, how, wet, wet, hungry, wet, hungry, wet, wet. I'd rather take risks, I'd rather be cold, tired, wrinkly, I want to grow old. I have nothing to lose, so I might as well try. If losing means failing, I think that means I'm succeeding now. I'm succeeding now. Yeah, if losing means failing, I think that means I'm succeeding now. Wet, how, wet, hungry, wet, how, wet, hungry, wet, hungry, wet, hungry, wet, hungry, wet, how, wet, wet, hungry, wet, hungry, wet, 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 hungry, wet, hungry. What? 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 Wet, wet, hungry, hungry.